Shaheen. Very
Thank you,
patient,
Mr.
Senator Shaheen.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Secretary Lew, for your willingness to come back in and serve the government, particularly at this difficult time. And I know that your nomination occurred before this horrible tragedy in Israel and in the Middle East, and so it's a very different situation than the one you were nominated for. I think the anger and outrage that you've heard reflected on the committee is a reflection of how people are feeling worldwide towards what's happening, both in terms of the horrific attack in Israel by Hamas, but also the concern about the innocent Palestinians and Israelis who have been killed. I do appreciate what I've seen coming out of Israel in terms of the country coming together. And I appreciated both the chairman and ranking members' statements, which I think reflect the committee's concern. I hope that this will not be used as an opportunity to sow partisan divides here in the United States and in Congress, because I think that's the wrong response. What we should be talking about is how we can support Israel, how we can address the humanitarian needs of the Palestinians, how we can get the hostages back. And I hope that's going to be the focus of the discussion. And as you said, that you will get up every day thinking about how we return the hostages to America. The Americans who are held, I think, is reassuring. So.
And Senator, I couldn't agree more that this should be a moment where we try our best to rise above partisanship and talk about what's in the interest of the U.S., what's in the interest of Israel, and what's in the interest of the U.S.-Israel relationship. One of the things about this relationship is that for 75 years it's been a bipartisan effort.
Absolutely.
I'm committed to working with Democrats and Republicans, people who agree or disagree with me, people who vote for me, and people who vote against me.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, and I know that to be the case based on having worked with you when you were in the Obama administration. I do want to raise a couple of issues that I think are important for you as, if you're confirmed as ambassador, and that is Senator Murphy talked about the maritime border decision that had been made between Lebanon and Israel. And we've heard a lot of discussion in the last week about the potential for a northern front on Lebanon's border with Israel. One of the institutions that I think is helpful in that respect is the Lebanese armed forces and their ability to help keep the lid on in northern Lebanon. But can you talk about what you as ambassador could do to help address that, and what would be the impact on Israel's ability to defend itself in the north if the LAF is not able to function?
Well, Senator, obviously, if confirmed, my remit will be centered in Israel, and we hopefully will still be able to have diplomats in Lebanon advancing our interests there. I would work with them. I think the president's decision to deploy 2 aircraft carrier groups into the Mediterranean sends a powerful message that doesn't need a lot of explanation. It is more armed power than almost any other nation in the world could bring to bear. I hope that is a deterrent that is heard and we don't see a multi-front war.
Well, thank you. I certainly share that. One of the other issues that we haven't yet focused on is the challenge of the impact on the defense industrial base in both Israel and the United States, given the Putin's invasion of Ukraine. So, if confirmed, how will you work with the Department of Defense, the Israeli Ministry of Defense, and U.S. defense companies to best support the delivery of military assistance to Israel?
I think that is a hugely important question that will have a whole different set of considerations than it did 2 weeks ago. until the mission of the inquiry into what happened and how Israel didn't see this and respond more quickly, until that is understood, I don't know the answer. I don't know if it's things they need, people they need, strategies they need, but it is just not acceptable to have an exposed border like that. And I don't think there's probably anyone in Israel who thinks it's acceptable either. We have a relationship with Israel in the defense area that's unique in the world. You know, we've had a history of phasing out a special provision that allows Israel to spend U.S. defense resources domestically. I'm not yet in a position to have a firm view, and I haven't been briefed in on all of the details. But I think we have to ask questions about, is that phase out the right schedule? Is there something at stake here? And something I mentioned in my testimony, which I just want to underscore, Israel's role internationally as a defense industry, as a technology industry provider, is kind of unique. It is a huge percentage of Israel's economy, much bigger as a percentage of their economy than it is of ours. And they have a level of resources and quality of materials and technology that other countries want. And particularly with regard to trade with China, if you had asked me 2 weeks ago what one of my big challenges would be, I would have said it would be working with Israel to understand the need not to give China things that we wouldn't give China to gain a military advantage. That is not as easy as just saying do it. They may well have the view that it's central to the economics of their industry. I don't know right now. I hope we're at a point when I am over there, if confirmed, shortly into my time, where you can have those conversations and ask our closest ally in the region to be partners with us in limiting some of the spread of advanced technology.
Well, thank you. At the appropriate time, I hope that you will focus on that. Thank you.